makes a lot of sense for it to draw lower, kind of attack those who have been making money, aka longs, right? And then send this thing back up higher. So, as I kind of been explaining to you guys in this session, the only thing that I really have my eyes on is right down here, previous session low. Okay. Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome in. In this video here, we're going to be overviewing how to avoid certain losses and increase your win rate trading model number 3 and 4. So, looking back here, obviously on market replay, we have yesterday's action on Monday, and we have really two completely different stories to tell when we're talking about the AM session versus the PM session. So, there was one session where you really could have burned yourself if you didn't know what you were doing trading model number 3, and there's one session, another one, that you could have made a bag on, which was the PM session. Okay, so the question is, how do we avoid the AM session trap initially, right? And we're going to dive into it and give you a very, very, very simple one specific thing that can drastically improve your win rate. All right, now before I get started and actually show you guys this, understand that there is no obviously avoiding losses every single time. Sometimes you're going to get that light bulb moment, everything's going to align, and you're going to take a loss. Right? Nothing's 100% win rate. You will take losses, but the only thing that matters in the end, you guys know where this is going, is how you react to the loss. If you react poorly to the loss, well then guess what? Your win rate is going to be decreased because you're going to be taking trades that don't actually support the model, and that was a loss as a result of human emotion, not the actual mechanical strategy. Okay? So with that said, we're going to dive into the AM session action. You can see it's, really sideways here. Okay, and what we're looking at is when price dove down here, okay, you're going to look at this and be like, oh yeah, nice, perfect. We have everything we need. This is an A+ model. We delivered down into an hourly inefficiency here. Boom. We sweep sell side. Those two boxes checked there. And then we scale down. We have an obvious opposing draw with relative highs. We have the timing aspect. Here's a macro from 950 to 1010. Here's a displacement. But as you can see here, we stayed inside of the range for the entire AM session, right? And it really opens the door with this type of action to get stopped out if you try to force something, right? But there's one small thing that allowed me to know to not engage with this model number 3. And that is the creation of multiple Farad gaps. So when we're looking at the hunting window or the macro for a potential model 3 entry point, right? I'm looking at this recovery here. So once we dive down into that key level and sweep sell side here, see swing lows, right? We dive down in that key level, we sweep sell side, and then we look at the macro or the hunting window, and I'm looking to target opposing buy stops like this swing high, for example, and this swing high here. But what I'm looking for is the creation of multiple Farad gaps in that price swing that creates the recovery out of our reversal point from the key level, right? And you're going to look at this here, and what does it do? It creates high resistance delivery. It stacks up on top of another with swings, right? And with this type of sensation, isn't creating some type of really like, wow, there it is, sensation with multiple Farad gaps? No. I prefer to have 3 Farad gaps created for A+ model number 3s. In this case here, we don't create any significant Farad gap at all. Just slowly and gradually moving sideways, and then boom, we draw back down into the range here. And then from there, it's just Chop City, and then we finally lead into the PM session. Now, what makes the PM session so much more high probability and different from the AM session is this portion of price action right here. Now, why is that? Well, the same exact thing for the model number 3. We already know what our draw is. Okay, I told you guys this entire day. I've supplied you with where price is going to go yesterday's live stream. That was these relative highs / all-time high buy side draw. So, we have the obvious opposing draw, right? Same exact thing with the AM session. We have the hourly Farad gap tapped down into. Same thing as the AM session. We have AM session sell side now swept right here. Boom. Right? So we're really checking all the boxes that the AM session did. Oh, wait a minute. So why did you not take the AM but you took the PM? I'm showing you that right now. Price comes down, sweeps this wick low, dives deeper into that higher time frame key level. We have the timing aspect. What's the timing aspect? Right? It's either the hunting window that I supplied for you guys or it's a macro. In this case here, we have 250 to 310 time pocket. And within this 250 to 310, what do we have? A super small difference, but makes a drastic change to your win rate is what you see here. How many Farad gaps are created? 1, 2, 3. 3 fair value gaps created is the golden ticket to the highest quality model number 3. Okay, so right here, second fair value gap created, and then you really have a light bulb sensation because what's taking place? Well, we have an initial swing created here, drops down, respects the initial fair value gap, right? And then it smashes further, creating this market structure shift above the swing high with a nice assertive fair value gap. Taps down into that. That's where you're going to long. Put your stop loss below the second fair value gap that's created, and you target the obvious opposing draw, right? Now, what makes this even better of a Model 3, I'm going to throw this in as a bonus, right? Not only do you look for this many fair value gaps created to increase your win rate, but you want to have a higher time frame obvious opposing draw, which in this case was all-time highs here. And you also, to make it even a world of a difference of high probability, is on the lower time frame also have an obvious opposing draw. So in that case here, that would be this wick buy side plus relative highs right there. Look how clean that is. That's obvious, right? It's smooth top. It's a huge wick created of buy side, right? Retail views that as doji. Huge amount of buy stops are going above there, right? So whenever we have a lower time frame obvious opposing draw with a higher time frame obvious opposing draw above it, coupled with 3 fair value gaps created inside of the macro or hunting window when we're looking to enter, there you go. Your win rate is increased insane. So I hope you found something out of this. Hope you gained some knowledge, and certainly go ahead and test this for yourself because this is definitely a ATM machine placed in your hand. It's a very, very simple video. Almost seems too simple to be true, but I promise you it makes a world of a difference. Go see it for yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next one.